Hello Star Seekers, thank you for joining me in this video. Today we will be discussing the new moon in Aries on March 21st, around that time, depending on where you are in the world. And this is also the spring equinox. The sun moves into Aries, the moon moves into Aries, and there's a few other planets there, and they are making aspects with some other planets. So stay with me as we discuss the potentials of the new moon in Aries for you. Now, my usual disclaimer about which sign you should be watching. In order to know where this energy will be affecting you, you need to know which houses these particular signs fall into, specifically Aries for this new moon. Which house Aries falls into is determined by your rising sign, not your sun sign. Horoscopes are determined through rising signs. Your sun sign is very important when you're learning about your personality and how you shine in the world and where you show off. But when we're talking about predictive horoscopes, it is your rising sign that we are looking at in order to determine which house a sign falls into and therefore which area of life this energy will be felt in. So, with that said, let's get into this. Hello Cancer Rising, thank you for joining me. Let's get right to this because we have a lot to talk about. So when we have a new moon, we have the moon and the sun on the same side of the earth. And in this instance, they are in Aries, which is your 10th house. This is the house of career, status, public recognition, public image. Joining the sun and the moon over here in this 10th house for this new moon, we also have Mercury and Jupiter. Mercury is conjunct the sun and the moon, and Jupiter is not conjunct, but it's still in the same sign, the same house if you're using the whole house systems. So what this means for you, Cancer Rising, with all of these energies here in your 10th house, this is bringing a strong desire for leadership, recognition, and success in your career pursuits. This placement can also indicate success in the fields that require independence, initiative, and quick thinking. This is also bringing a tendency towards impulsive decisions when it comes to your professional goals. So be aware of that. There is a need here to balance your personal ambition with your sense of responsibility towards others in an effort to avoid alienation, especially from your community. So we have Venus over here just moving into Taurus just a few days before this new moon. Now Venus is at home in Taurus, so it's feeling happy, harmonious, and not conflicted as if it would if it was in a challenging sign or house. So Venus is at home here, and what Venus is doing while it's in Taurus, in your 11th house or the house of community and social circles, this is bringing a heightened appreciation for beauty, pleasure, and luxury in your social networks, your friendships, and your group affiliations. This placement can lead to a desire for stability and security within your relationships with friends, groups, and social circles or organizations that you are a part of. Uranus is also over here in Taurus in this 11th house, and it's been there for a couple of years. It will be there for a couple more. So this has been bringing a lot of unexpected and sudden changes to your social networks, friendships, and group affiliations. This placement can indicate a fascination with innovative or unconventional ideas relating to social causes or group dynamics and the future. Together, Venus and Uranus combined in this 11th house in Taurus for you is resulting in a weird mix of both stable and unpredictable energies in the areas of your social networks, your friendships, your group circles, your social circles. This could manifest as a desire for pleasure and stability within those group relationships, combined with a willingness to try new and unconventional approaches to social causes or group dynamics. Saturn also just moved into Pisces right here on the other side of this big party. So there's a whole big party going on in the sky here for you. Saturn is bringing its sense of responsibility and structure to your house of beliefs and philosophy. This is potentially leading to a more disciplined approach to higher education or even travel, especially travel overseas or long distances or to foreign places that are unknown to you. This placement can also indicate a potential for deep spiritual growth and mature practices in your spirituality. This can also bring up fears and restrictions around exploring new ideas or around new cultures or other cultures. Neptune is also here with Saturn in this 9th house. Neptune is at home in Pisces. Now, this is enhancing your intuition and your empathy towards different belief systems or cultures. But this could also create some confusion or tendency towards idealization if not balanced with a critical approach to knowledge. This Sun and Moon over here in your 10th house is making a 90-degree angle to Mars, which is in Gemini in your 12th house. Now, with the Sun and the Moon here in your 10th house, this has been really focusing the light of both of those luminaries on your career, your achievement, and your public recognition. This placement can indicate a need for you to assert yourself in your professional life, as well as really showing your desire for success and status. The square aspect here with Mars, this can create tension between your need for ambition and your desire for spiritual growth and solitude. The 12th house is the house of spirituality and solitude. It's the house of undoing before you are reborn again. So you might need to work on finding a balance between your worldly aspirations of your career and your public image and your inner spiritual journey. Well, this Sun and Moon over here is also conjunct with this Neptune just on the other side of this 9th house border here. So with the Sun and the Moon in your 10th house, again, this is really creating the potential for a highly imaginative and a visionary approach to your career and your public image. The placement of Neptune here right next to this Sun and Moon is really showing your desire to use your creative talents and to inspire others and to pursue a career that aligns with your spiritual values. Be aware, though, that there could also be challenges related to maintaining a clear sense of reality versus fantasy in your career matters. And there's also a tendency here towards escapism or avoidance of practical responsibilities when they are relating to your public image or your career or your recognition for some kind of achievement. This Sun and Moon are also making a 60-degree angle to Pluto. Pluto is over here in Capricorn. Now, a word about Pluto. Pluto has been in Capricorn since 2008. Everybody's been feeling this heavy Pluto energy in one area of life or another. You happen to be feeling it in your house of relationships. This has been a lot of challenges in the area of relationships. Luckily, finally, Pluto will be moving on into Aquarius just days after this new moon. Pluto is moving on into Aquarius. This is a big deal. This is a huge energy shift for everybody. You, Cancer, this Pluto that has been really shaking things up in your relationship sector for almost 20 years now is moving into your house of personal transformation and intimacy and intimate partnerships and shared resources. So that's going to be a whole different thing. I'm hoping to do a video just about the Pluto movement and how it affects your rising sign. But for now, during this new moon, Pluto is still in Capricorn in your 7th house if you're using the whole house system. So with Pluto in your 10th house and, in your 7th house, making a sextile to the Sun and the Moon in your 10th house, in your house of career, this is bringing transformative energy to your career, your public image, your achievement or mastery of something. So this may be bringing opportunities for, or it has been for the past 20 years. It's been bringing opportunities for you to create powerful alliances and collaborations that can bring success and recognition in your professional sphere. You may also feel a strong drive to assert your authority and to take control of your destiny. This can lead to significant growth and achievement. Venus over here in this in your 11th house is also making an aspect to Pluto, but this is a square aspect. So this is a more challenging aspect. This is creating a strong desire for social connection and community. There's a focus here on creating meaningful and supportive relationships with others. Now be aware though that the square with Pluto over here, this can suggest some power struggles or some hidden issues related to control and transformation within your personal relationships and partnerships. And that can be romantic partnerships, that can be a business partnership, a best friendship, some kind of union of two people when you are part of that equation. So this could have an impact on your ability to form those deep connections with others. It may be very important for you to confront and to work through any underlying dynamics that you have in order to cultivate a more authentic and fulfilling relationship, especially within your social networks. Okay, this Mars over here in your 12th house is making a favorable aspect to Saturn in the 8th house. This is, in the 9th house. Okay, Mars over here in Gemini, this is creating a need for communication and intellectual pursuits. While in the 12th house, this represents hidden energies and subconscious patterns. So you might be wanting to communicate some things that have been kind of in your subconscious for a while. Saturn in Pisces can indicate a desire for spiritual growth and a need to confront any emotional challenges, because the 9th house is related to higher learning, travel, and exploration. So in order to fulfill those goals, you need to confront whatever is preventing you from that. Mars in Gemini in your 12th house and Saturn in Pisces in your 9th house can suggest some tension between your intellectual curiosity and your spiritual exploration. There can be a desire here to understand deeper aspects of life, but also the tendency to overthink and intellectualize your emotions. So this trine aspect between Mars and Saturn can indicate that there is an opportunity here to balance these energies by using discipline and focus to achieve these long-term goals in learning and personal spiritual growth. Now lastly, this Mars still here in Gemini in your 12th house. This is in a challenging aspect or a square to dreamy Neptune over here again in the 9th house. Now, even though it's the same houses as the others, the aspect's a little bit different. So this is a challenge that's creating a strong desire for you to explore your spiritual and your philosophy, your philosophical concepts, but there's a struggle here to find clarity and discernment in these areas. Neptune muddles things, makes it underwater and dreamy. This alignment can indicate a tendency towards idealizing or romanticizing certain belief systems. This could lead to disillusionment and confusion. The square between these two, between Mars and Neptune, this may require a considered conscious effort on your part to cultivate practicality and critical thinking in your spiritual and your philosophical pursuits. Don't go in anything without having all the facts and the full picture, because it's going to be hard sometimes to discern between what is true and what is just perceived. Okay, that's all I have for you today, Cancer. Thank you for watching. Please give me a comment down below if anything resonated with you. If you'd like to hear more about something, please give me a like and subscribe so I can help spread my message to other people. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.